So, how are you feeling? For more than 8 months, this game, this night, has been on the cards. England-France in a World Cup quarter-final. Spectre has loomed on the horizon ever since the draw was made. A mouth-watering prospect, initially dependent on ifs, buts and maybes, that edged ever closer as the jigsaw pieces of the competition were slowly lowered into place. For 8 months of possibility, for 6 days, a reality. And if anticipation has been heightened by a rediscovery of form, the size of the task ahead has remained undiminished. Because now just 5 remain, and for each of the 5, the prospect of success is coated with a veneer of reality, where potential flaws in the opposition and optimism are enhanced. For 4 of them, those dreams of glory will still be a mirage in the Qatari desert. But for tonight's victors, as they bid farewell to the vanquished and contemplate a semi-final they'd be favourites to win, those dreams will have fresh tangibility. And for England, it will be a case of navigating waters that have been rarely charted. Not since their most famous of all, footballing hours, have they won a World Cup knockout tie against a side ranked above them in the world. A damning statistic. It needs immediate attention. Will the 3 Lions supply the roar on a night where raw emotion is guaranteed? England are unchanged. Pickford wins his 50th cap. In front of him, Walker, Stones, Maguire and Shaw, Henderson and Rice, Saka, Bellingham and Foden, and Kane. France are also unchanged. Lloris, Koundé, Varane, Upamecano and Theo Hernandez, Tchouaméni and Rabiot, Dembele, Griezmann and Mbappe, and Giroud. Since England were last in action here at El Bayt, the big guns have been running out of ammunition. Spain, Brazil, Portugal all out, Argentina surviving a hefty scare. And the World Cup that's brought everything will see another notable scout leave tonight. And whoever does leave will be ruining a huge missed opportunity. England players take the knee, offering a reminder before kick-off: there is no room for racism. It's a high-profile game enhanced by the identity and status of England's opponents. A night that will be recollected for years to come. But what will that match against France in Qatar always mean to us all? Sit back and let history unfold in one of the biggest, most significant matches England have ever played. The World Cup quarter-finals underway in the company of 3 Lions legend Stuart Pearce.
Well, first action of the ball was to burst, so straight away we've got something to talk about in the game. That's a couple we've seen go now, so the French are just going to throw it back into England, give them the ball back, and be interesting to see which team settle in first, cope with the nerves. I'm sure they'll feel each other out, get a nice feel of the ball, and then I always like to try and turn teams around and try and put them on the back foot if we possibly can.
So England, white shirts with dark blue trim and dark blue shorts, kick from left to right, and there is a long ball forward over the top, out to the far left for England, where it's headed out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the England left-hand side. France in their red, white and very dark blue, going from bottom up to top. Very dark blue shirts have gold numbering and trim befitting the world champions. World champions don't have a great record in this tournament, defending world champions, and France have already done much better than many. The last 7 World Cups, the defending champions have only got to the semi-finals once. That was Brazil, runners-up to France back in 1998. French defending on the edge of their own penalty area were able to poke the ball forward. It was a loose ball across the edge of the box that was knocked away by Upamecano, and in getting it away from Saka, he's been able to get the ball down towards Kylian Mbappe. And Mbappe will control it on the left-hand touchline, and now will drift in towards the edge of the penalty area. First example of that injection of lightning pace that he has, going from almost a standing start. Got a little flick round the corner. Rabiot is brought in. He's laid it back for Varane inside the centre circle. Varane square to his right-hand side for Jules Koundé, playing out right back in this tournament in the preference to Benjamin Pavard. Now down towards Theo Hernandez, deputising for his older brother, the injured Lucas, at left back. Saka doing well to win it back for England, and Trying to get it forward towards Jordan Henderson, but it's drifted past him. Out of play for a throw that will be taken on the French left. 2.5 in, it's 0-0, but impressive tempo about the early French forays into England territory. England winning it back though. Saka trying to bring it forward, finding Kane. Right hand side of the penalty area, a ball that was driven in, and it just hit Upamecano, was blocked. Ricochets down for Rice in the midfield. And Kane, 25 yards outside the penalty area, flights it forward. Foden making a run from the left into the centre. Time for Hernandez to run round it for France and clear from the left-back position, but then Upamecano's clearance was poor and it falls for Henderson. Henderson in towards Foden, takes a touch. Left-footed shot was blocked at the point of contact by Koundé. And France, after an impressive start, just on the back foot for a minute or so. England with a decent spell of pressure here. Bellingham trying to bring it forward up the left-hand side, runs into trouble in the form of the blonde-haired Griezmann. And Chouameni can calm things down in the French midfield and lay it back for Upamecano again. A few signs of early nerves, good tempo from France, as I was saying, but a good riposte from England.
I think, Jim, I've complained about England starting with a slow tempo, and probably in this game that's what we did. We played a little bit sideways and slowly, and Maguire tossed the ball forward now and then France picked the ball up and they went bang, bang, bang and come after us. I think we need to do a little bit more of that, be more aggressive with the ball.
Those are thoughts of former England captain and World Cup defender Stuart Pearce. Foden on the left side, down by the corner flag, has recycled it back into a deeper position, and Bellingham's footwork and trickery under pressure is impressive. Shaw will try and play back for Foden, who looked as though he was upended, and the Brazilian referee Wilton Sampaio has given England a free kick over on the left-hand touchline. Dembele coming back, Foden just nudging the ball away from him, and Dembele leant into him and caught him just above the ankle. So first set-piece opportunity of the night, and it's gone England's way. 5 gone at 0-0. Kane in a central position is the most advanced of England's players. He's still only just inside the French penalty area. Maguire and Rice both stand at the far post. Stones is there as well, hands on hips. France defending pretty much zonally. England have got a man over at the far post if they can work this. France just shuffling across to try and counter that. Henderson unmarked on the edge of the penalty area. It's going to be sure to swing it in. Left-footed, heads go up for it. It just dropped in between Stones and Maguire, and the offside flag is up anyway. So it's a free kick which will be taken by the French. 5.5 gone. It's England 0, France 0. The Al Bayt Stadium in Alcor in northern Qatar, in the company of Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, Maguire it was on that occasion, just drifted offside slightly, started in an offside position but never at any time got back onto an onside position. And as I say, both teams, I think it's really important that England get on the front foot. Don't show too much respect to the French. Go after their back line as quickly as you can. It's the best means of defence.
Lloris with the clearance on this record-breaking night for him, his 143rd international appearance. Breaking Lilian Thuram's record, has won each of his last 9 World Cup games as well. Lloris, who was in the side that drew with England back in Euro 2012, plays it out from the back. Is Upamecano on the left of the two centre-halves, driving it forward 50 yards. Walker with a little cushion header down. He might have let it run through for Pickford. The cushion header soon finds its way towards Mbappe. Helps inside the area. Shaw with an awkward but safe skewed clearance with his weaker foot, his right. Chouameni picks it up on the right-hand side of the midfield. Koundé trying to release Dembele, and Shaw's there again to put it out of play for a throw which France have taken quickly. Sense that this might not be 0-0 for too long, as England pick it up on the inside left channel with Bellingham, and then win a throw which Luke Shaw will trot across to take.
I think there's just too much quality on the pitch in the advanced areas for this game to end 0-0, that is for sure. I can see both teams scoring in it. I can see goals in the game. Just on that occasion, Walker got himself in a really good position, just try to delicately head a header away, and he should have just cushioned it back to Pickford, I think.
England with 12 goals in their 4 games coming into this one. France with 9 in their 4. The French have actually conceded in every game that they've played. They've only got one clean sheet in the last 10 games, which came against Austria in the Nations League. They, like England, had a pretty inauspicious Nations League campaign, but have warmed up for the World Cup quite nicely. Long ball play forward from the back from England's Harry Maguire, looking for Bukayo Saka to make his way down the right-hand side of the penalty area, but he was overhit and drifts out of play for a goal kick that Lloris will take. 8 minutes in, it's England 0, France 0 on the day that Morocco beat Portugal by a goal and end the series. Powerful, towering header 3 minutes before half-time, giving a side with such an outstanding defensive record the platform to build upon. They're in their first ever semi-final, and the winners of this one will play Morocco here on Wednesday night. It's live on TalkSport. Tuesday, it's Croatia against Argentina. And that one also kicking off at 7 and also live on TalkSport. Rabiot heading the ball through the midfield for France. Picked up by Koundé. Playing it right back for his country at the moment. A centre-half really by trade. Now played through the right-hand side of the midfield towards Griezmann. Opportunity to deliver from that right flank in towards Giroud and poked away just before he got there. It was a crucial touch from Stones. And now Rabiot can pick it up again on the left-hand side of the French midfield. Back it goes from him to Upamecano. Upamecano to Varane. Griezmann on the corner of the box, trying to take on the sliding Jude Bellingham, who's claiming that he was able to flick it off the Frenchman. The assistant on the far side says he wasn't, and as a consequence, France have their first corner.
Just looking at Griezmann's position, he's playing the number 10 role, but he's playing on the right-hand side as France look, inside right position. It's really important that Bellingham gets around him. He's got a defensive role as well as an attacking role to do if Griezmann's going to play in that area. That is the area that Bellingham's going to patrol.
Mbappe is in the 6-yard box and Walker has got his right arm around him as if he's just about to ask him for a dance. Varane will make a run in from deeper. Rabiot, wearing 14, is buzzing around. They've got 3 coming in from deeper still, including Giroud. Handed away by England at the near post, now towards Foden, who's the out ball, and he's done really well because he's won a throw out of nothing over on the far touchline, and that will allow England the opportunity to push forward, condense things in the midfield and have a little bit of a breather. 0-0 with 10 minutes gone.
Yeah, probably the French had the lion's share at the moment, certainly of aggression. But that certainly would be a concern for me where Griezmann's decided to go and play, whether he's decided to play there because he thinks out of the 3 players in the England midfield that Bellingham will be furthest forward, and that's how he's going to get out.
So here's Griezmann again. Another right-footed ball in from Dembele, and a diving header saved by Pickford, but it was a decent opportunity. Low ball in, and Giroud did really well to meet it. He was only about 1.5 feet off the ground when he got his head to that, but couldn't direct it either side of Pickford, who can make a relatively comfortable save, and it remains goalless.
Yeah, Shaw just dived in there, just got done, tipped round the corner, and all of a sudden there was a big problem behind our back line. It's important that England don't get into a mode of France do really well, play quickly, have an effort, and then England think, well, I've got to slow things down, take it easy. We've got to find a way of putting them on the back foot. The weakest part of their team is their back line.
Pickford taking a touch after the ball was played to him by Harry Maguire. Now he works it out towards Walker. Walker through the centre circle for Jude Bellingham. It just runs away from Bellingham for a moment, but he can keep possession. Play towards Luke Shaw. Back for Bellingham again. Bellingham towards the edge of the centre circle. Jordan Henderson's peeled out in advance of Bukayo Saka out on the right wing. But England are just taking a more leisurely approach, as is often the way. A little bit more proactive Declan Rice with the ball forward, that time towards Shaw. Shaw poking it forward as only passed it straight at Koundé, and Griezmann takes control again. He's been everywhere so far. Having a fine tournament, and he's continuing that here in the desert this evening. Upamecano, out to Koundé. Koundé working it forward towards Dembele. Koundé then goes back for Varane. Varane, who's not too far short of 100 caps for France now, the Manchester United player. Saka just trying to forced his man away. It's Hernandez that had to retreat back towards halfway, but France are able to maintain easy possession and Varane will bring it forward back into England territory again. Out towards Dembele on the right flank, wearing 11 for France in their very dark blue shirts. Left back Hernandez again in possession. Maguire just with an eye on Giroud at the moment. Stones a spare man in the England back line. Griezmann picking up possession again. That's been a little bit too easy for him and something that England need to try and address. Henderson's forced him back for Hernandez. Hernandez in turn goes deeper still to Upamecano, the deepest of the French outfield players, and then England have turned it over. And they've got Kane in here. It's a brilliant interception, and Kane's going to be able to bring it forward and get to the edge of the penalty area. Just drops it off to the right-hand side. He's laying it back for Henderson, who's superbly read by Rice. And England, whilst they've regained possession, have ended up going back some 20-30 yards and will build from a deeper area now with Maguire. But that was very well played by Rice to turn over possession in that area, but Kane just didn't have the support and he didn't have the opportunity really to make the most of the situation for England.
Yeah, that's what we want. Players not to give the French too much respect. At the moment we're giving them that, and there's opportunities here. Griezmann doesn't really want to do a defensive role in my opinion at the moment, and Rice has got to get on the ball, drive forward, and all of a sudden offer sort of Rabiot and Tchouaméni a decision to make, because they'll be outnumbered at that stage. If we don't do that, we're not going to break them down. Just looking at Griezmann's position, Jim, it is a real concern for us because he's an intelligent player. He gets on the same line as Shaw.
Henderson has lost out. He was looking for the Bukayo Saka, and Rabiot's picked it up and he's dropped it off for Mbappe. High right-footed ball in too deep. Can't find Dembele. Goes out of play for a goal kick. England's first real mistake inside their own half in terms of distribution. Seized upon but not punished.
Yeah, just touching on that Griezmann position, he's taking a position up and he's standing on the same line as Shaw. So what he's doing is occupying Shaw. That enables Dembele to receive the ball on the touchline. Intelligent play by him, but we've got to work him in the opposite direction, which we're failing to do at the moment.
Just explain what you mean by standing on the same line as Shaw.
Well, if you're Shaw stood looking up the pitch, all he sees is Griezmann, and he can't jump beyond Griezmann to go and get to Dembele, if you like, you know. So that's what I mean by being on the same line. As I say, if you're a defender or even a midfield player, the first person you see in your eye line, you don't often run beyond them to go and press the ball, the second man up that line. And Griezmann's just occupying Shaw so other players can get the ball.
Jordan Henderson has it for England. It's 0-0 here on TalkSport. We've played 15 minutes. And Henderson's inside his own half of the centre circle as he deposits the ball at the feet of Bellingham. Now he goes back out to Shaw again. Each of England's back four started the final against Italy in the European Championships, although England didn't play with a four that day. It was Walker at centre half and Shaw as a left wing back. Again, a pedestrian air of England's approach, but that's clever from Rice. Rice getting the ball from Maguire, then turn very quickly. Walker making his way forward. Saka picking it up on the right-hand side of the area. Was tackled a little bit too honest. He tried to stay on his feet and then slipped. And France have won possession back, and Mbappe's got the opportunity to run and make headway into England territory. Little 1-2 from here. He gets it back. Mbappe in the central area. This could be dangerous because he's got past Rice's challenge. He's peeled towards the edge of the box. Dembele's got the ball. Here's Griezmann. Griezmann for Tchouaméni, who shoots from distance and scores. 25 yards out, and he's powered one into the bottom left-hand corner. And it was all after possession was turned over deep in French territory. Saka thought he was fouled, and it unravelled pretty quickly after that. Space for Tchouaméni in the midfield. Boy, did he exploit it. And England trail France by a goal to nil.
Yeah, I think England have played right into the hands of the French at the moment. The difference between the two teams is chalk and cheese in their outlook to the game. England, slow build-up, sideways, not turning round and going forward and putting the French on the back foot. As soon as the French turn the ball up, they gather distance with momentum, and that's exactly how they've got their goal. To say England will find out a little bit about each other at the moment. I think we've just got to find a way of getting on the front foot at the moment.
That was a really well taken goal. Pickford saw it coming, dived down to his right-hand side, just took a step and he just evaded his right hand to nestle into the bottom left-hand corner. TalkSports England correspondent Faye Carruthers down away behind that goal. Have had a very good view of that, and also the way it unravelled for England immediately prior to the shot coming in.
An enormous amount of debriefing going on the pitch, Jim, as you would expect. Jordan Pickford speaking to John Stones, to Harry Maguire and to Jordan Henderson, telling them just to get a little bit tighter. Declan Rice as well. They're really annoyed with themselves about that goal.
They're looking for an immediate response. Foden playing it back. Here is Rice. England trailing by a goal to nil. And in their World Cup history, they have never won a match in 90 minutes when they have conceded first. The only time they've ever come back from 1-0 down in the final in 1966. Here's Jordan Henderson down towards Saka, level with the edge of the French penalty area. Remember, this is a France side that have conceded in every game that they've played so far, who've only kept one clean sheet in the last 10 games. England have to believe that opportunities will come their way, and one will come here, because Saka's been upended by Rabiot about 6 yards outside the penalty area, right of centre, and England have a really good set-piece chance to get back on level terms within about 3 minutes.
It's actions like that that are going to put the French on the back foot. All of a sudden, you're one-on-one, go and take someone on. Now, we're on the edge of the box, good opportunity for a strike at goal, but we've got to go forward a bit more readily. Even from the first minute, Jim, there's that cautious, nervous sidewaysness about the way we play, and I don't like it, to be honest with you. I really don't. I've mentioned it going back into the group stages. When we get on the front foot and go after the opposition, we're a good team.
Well, how's the array of set pieces looking? Shaw and Henderson stand over this, and John Stones has come to meet them as well. It's been a free kick, a tournament where goals from free kicks have been so few and far between, but there was that moment of brilliant inspiration from Val Weghorst and his Dutch teammates last night when they needed it most. Can England conjure up something here? There's 3 in Lloris's wall. England have got another 2 just next to the wall. In fact, it's 4 strong, that wall now. And Maguire's really close, almost too close to the French contingent. Remember, you've got to stay a metre away. So Shaw stands over it. Henderson runs over it. Shaw hits it. And Lloris just took 1 step to his left and pulled it into his body about 3 foot off the ground. Well struck, but of little consequence in the end.
Yeah, don't mind that. Good effort, good strike on goal, asking questions of the goalkeeper. And well played, Saka.
And that's what we need to see more of from an England perspective. Trailing 1-0. Germany's goal on 17 minutes, only his second for his country, ended against Ivory Coast in March. He's the only player in this French team who has started every game in this World Cup campaign. And he's been rewarded with his first ever World Cup goal. It's a French side without a few significant players because of injury. Pogba and Benzema and Kunku and Kimpembe, and they lost Lucas Hernandez, the left back, in this tournament as well. The other 4 injured before the tournament started. Here's Stones for England, playing it forward in towards Jude Bellingham, just before the midway stage of a first half in which France have been the better side and lead. A little shot from Griezmann. Henderson playing it down towards Bukayo Saka. Saka with another opportunity to run. He's got Henderson making a run on the overlap through this time. Kenny spotted his back and flicks it towards goal. Lloris saves. Clip back over the Anson Lloris, headed at the far post, but not effectively by Bellingham, and France will be able to clear it. And again, it was better. It was an inspirational turn from Kane, but Lloris kept himself big against his club teammate and made an important save. And it remains 1-0 to France.
Once again, up the tempo, ask questions. The French don't look the common sense, relaxed, aggressive team when they're going forward on the front foot. You've got to keep putting one on their chin every now and then, every opportunity you get.
And England forced to recycle it back inside their own half. They've had actually just the majority of possession. Maguire finding Stones. He's turned away after playing the pass, not happy with some of the movement ahead of him. He didn't get what he was anticipating. England have still got it. Rice to Shaw to Foden and flick off balance from Mancunian back for Luke Shaw again. Now Harry Maguire once more has the opportunity to bring it forward for England, and he's clipped a diagonal out towards the left looking for Foden, but it was easily headed away by Koundé. Koundé, quite tall for a man playing at full-back. Ball worked across towards Upamecano. Upamecano down towards Hernandez, and Mbappe plays it back to him. It's a lonely 1-2 off the ball. Walker then did well to block the return ball, and Bellingham picks up the pieces and finds Henderson. Henderson, though, just waited a moment. Almost a fatal error. It was flicked off him, or flicked away from him by Rabiot, but out of play for a throw that England will take on the right-hand side in front of Didier Deschamps in the French technical area. 1-0 England trail midway through the first half.
Tell you what, just looking at that Harry Kane moment there, Upamecano all over the place as Kane's turned him, and he's just failed, he's just hit the underside of the arm of Lloris, who's come out and smothered him.
So nearly got it past him. The best move that England have had so far. A few isolated signs of promise since going behind. Rice bringing it forward over the halfway line. There's a long way to go. Shaw. Maguire to Stones inside the centre circle for England. He drops his shoulder and just tries to engage Giroud, flicked forward towards Henderson. England trying to get between the lines much more readily than we saw in the only 35 minutes or so against Senegal. Kane has done well, he's flicked it forward. Bellingham off balance, trying to backheel the ball back into the path of Kane, who'd stopped his run. And that meant that France could smuggle it back for Lloris, who clears. But the encouragement is there.
Jim, there's not been a time yet where we've been in and around their back line where I've seen an element of panic in their play.
Oh yeah. Hernandez, and he's given it away. Kane trying to get goal side of Upamecano, goes down right on the edge of the penalty area, waved up by the Brazilian referee Wilton. And the inquests are immediate. Obviously the VAR will be having a look at it. There's a scant point really in Jordan Henderson going across the assistant referee to take the question. You're seeing a replay of it. Not sure whether it was in or outside the penalty area.
It's a penalty. Jim, that's a penalty. He's dangling his leg through Harry Kane's. And for me, there's enough contact there.
Well, the VAR is having a look. They're checking for a possible penalty. First of all, they will have a look at the legitimacy of the contact. Then they'll decide whether it's in or outside the penalty area. And Kyle Walker's being told, don't restart play. They're speaking to me. Well, the VAR tonight is the Colombian official Nicola Gallo, and he will be assessing every conceivable angle, looking at the replays, deciding whether it's inside the penalty area or not. You're absolutely adamant that it is a foul, but it's just a question of where it is a foul.
What I would say, Jim, while we got time on this as well, this is twice now Harry Kane's been the wrong side of him. We've gone, Saka's gone beyond someone. We've got to find a way of upping the tempo of the way we play and go after the opposition a bit more.
No penalty. No penalty. Now play restarts with a throw. I don't think England actually were expecting a penalty. They didn't appear at all surprised. It was a long inspection. The ball had gone out of play, and play can't resume with a free kick outside the penalty area, so it might have been they decided it was a foul but not in the box.
Well, what it's done is put pressure on the referee, you know, so if we get in the box again and there's a marginal call, VAR have already looked at one.
Just a breakdown of communication in the England midfield. Foden passed the ball 5 yards to his left-hand side, nobody there to receive it or attack the space. And so France have got it back again. France leading with Chouameni's goal 17 minutes. And Koundé has possession. Now to the goal scorer, a young man in the heart of the midfield. And just bring the ball forward, away from Rabiot alongside him. Work it out towards Dembele. Pele receiving the ball on that right-hand touchline. Quickly play it back to Tchouaméni again. Now Koundé for Varane. Varane had it drilled back to him there by Deo Upamecano. And there's this play forward hurriedly by Koundé. It's just straight over the top of everybody, except for Jordan Pickford. And he'll be able to pick it up and bowl it out for John Stones to try and get England going again. Goal England conceded their first in 287 minutes, 4 3/4 hours. There's an England side that have got a very good defensive record. They've only led in 18 in the last 32 matches, and 4 of those were in one game. But at the moment, England need more tempo, they need more purpose building from the back through the midfield, they need better possession upfield, and they need to be able to exploit the potential problems in that French defensive line that have already been highlighted throughout the tournament and again today. Here's Saka now winning it back on the edge of the penalty area. Down for Henderson. He tried to thread the ball back through. He got it through the legs of Hernandez, but Upamecano is there to read it. Rice will pick it up. Central area, 25 yards out. Back for Kane. Tries his luck and diving Lloris beats it behind for a corner.
I almost think we're a better team going a goal down. I really do. It gets us on the front foot. It stops us passing around the back. And I still feel as though that triangle of the two centre-halves and Declan have got to work harder to eliminate the front players of France and play forward.
So England's first corner, and going to be taken on the right flank. Henderson, who's so adept at being able to block off markers, stands right in front of Hugo Lloris at the moment. England have actually made the 6-yard box a real crowd scene. There are not 8 or 9 players in there. You've got 2 deeper, Kane and Maguire, starting from the penalty spot. Kane was wrestled over. In it comes, a real fight up inside the 6-yard box, and France have fortuitously been able to dig it clear and get it out towards the halfway line. England win it back there. Bellingham to Henderson. Henderson faced up by Antoine Griezmann. Just slips it off to his left for Jude Bellingham, the first teenager ever to start a World Cup quarter-final for England. Bellingham has it again, down towards Henderson. Saka making a run off the ball. As he does so, Henderson turns, uses that run as a decoy, and opens up his body to play it back into the central area again. Now comes forward from Stones to Bellingham. Bellingham down towards Saka. Saka just trying to poke it through the corner. Ends up winning it back after a couple of ricochets. Tries to get a corner himself off Hernandez, but didn't manage that, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. England don't like the decision. I do think it is the correct one. Foden and Saka both arguing the point, but play will restart with the goal kick. We're half an hour in. It's England 0, France 1 in the World Cup quarter-final. On TalkSport, England have an hour to save themselves.
Yeah, what have we learned so far? The French, when they get in advanced areas, they can be quick, they can be effective with their movement of the ball. We've also found out that the French are not particularly good defensively. We've had good opportunities to put them under pressure, few scrambles in the box and no confidence in their back line. We have to keep getting that ball forward and do it quickly. Little give and goes will cause some big problems.
Who's most impressed you so far in an England shirt?
Well, probably Harry Kane, to be fair. He's been in and behind the back line. He's had a shot that rasped away by the goalkeeper, and he's turned Upamecano round on 2 occasions and left him for absolute dead.
Walker with the throw for England. Bellingham going up for it. Beaten by Varane, who was sent off the last time these two sides played back in 2017, a 3-2 French victory. Ball played back for Lloris, who clears it left-footed out towards the far touchline. Headed on and be chased by Rabiot. Rabiot just shoving over his man, and Kane's got a free kick.
Talking to Harry Kane, he's back there defending around his left back spot there, helping out.
He's so clever at that, just got his body between Rabiot and the ball, and everybody in the ground knew what was coming next.
Yeah. Just intelligent football.
Just stopped his run, made the contact inevitable, went to ground, wins the free kick, and England can play out.
They've seen a perfect opportunity there where Declan Rice has just received the ball alongside Giroud. Instead of pulling away from him a little bit, turning forward and advancing with the ball and asking questions of Rabiot.
All he did was slip it out of the left-hand side, and then England have given it away. Bellingham straight to Mbappe, who's got 3 white shirts between him and goal. Bellingham coming back, making life difficult. Walker stood his ground very impressively. It's imperious defending there from Kyle Walker, and then Griezmann has fouled Saka. And it's a free kick that England will take midway inside their own half. But those frustrating individual errors in possession, particularly inside England's own half, are still prevalent, still rearing their ugly head.
Yeah, it's just working out that little triangle, and Dex just got to do a little bit more. I'd love to see him surging forward with the ball, asking questions, and I think if he starts doing that, all of a sudden it's a chain of events start to happen. Defenders have got, midfield players have got to step out to engage him, and there's a big problem then.
Maguire, a long diagonal. England win the second, so Saka's got it, corner of the penalty area. Henderson down the right-hand side of the penalty area for him, he's turned, and then is fouled. Referee says no. Clean challenge by Hernandez. Saka stays down. France might be able to break. It was about there that Saka lost possession that France ended up scoring from in their move about 15 minutes ago. They've worked it quickly out towards Dembele. Dembele not too far away from the edge of the English penalty area as he pulls it back for Chouameni. Quick 1-2 between him and Griezmann. Now Rabiot. And Mbappe plays it down towards Theo Hernandez. Hernandez on the left-hand touchline. Mbappe gets it away from Saka, from Meccano to Rafa Varane, and Varane into the feet of Griezmann, straight back again. Varane in his orange boots out to Dembele. Dembele just opening up his right foot and flicking it down the line for Griezmann. Griezmann taking on Bellingham, couldn't beat him on the outside. Bellingham so calm, just stepped up, got his left foot to the ball, drove it away as if he's back playing in the Stourbridge and District League again. You'd never know that this was a World Cup quarter-final for him. But the French have regained possession on halfway. Rabiot, the man that has the ball at his feet. 10 minutes to go to half-time here on TalkSport. Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce talking through the action from Albain, where it's England 0, France 1. Winners play Morocco after their sensational victory over Portugal earlier today. Varane working it speedily but intelligently out to his right for Koundé. Koundé to Dembele. Griezmann still here, there and everywhere. Long lofted ball from him, trying to get Mbappe in. It was Hernandez making his way forward from left back but ended up getting to it, and Saka's forced to concede a throw in front of Walker, and there's a little bit more discussion again between Saka and Walker at exactly how they should be tag teaming against Mbappe and Hernandez on this near touchline the French left. France lead it with a goal from this man, Chouameni, trying to get better of the battle between the two number 8s against Henderson. Griezmann again in the right place at the right time, just to receive a little wall pass and go back to his colleague in the midfield. He sends it deeper. Lloris drives it forward. Giroud trying to hold it up as just presented it straight to Phil Foden. And Griezmann comes back, has a little swipe at Foden, has fouled him, and it's a free kick on halfway to England. But they trail 1-0 with 9 to go to half time.
Yeah, the game's set up at the moment. What we've got to be mindful of is the counter-attack threat of the French. They'll be quite happy now. They've got their nose in front, and the pace they've got on the counter-attack is a problem to us. But we need to keep making sure, as I say, we squeeze up, get the ball out into these wide areas and take people on in and around the box.
Henderson back for Stones. And Stones again coming towards the halfway line. Back to Maguire, to Shaw. Shaw does clip it forward, does try to get the ball between the lines, and sticking out a long leg. Koundé diverted it towards the D on the edge of his own penalty area where Varane was forced to clear. Walker will Judge an awkward bounce well and get it back to Jordan Pickford. Let's go pitch side again and get the thoughts of our TalkSport England correspondent Faye Carruthers.
Really interesting we talk about this being a squad game because the substitutes warming up, Eric Dyer and Conor Cody, are giving instructions to their teammates, particularly Bukayo Saka, telling him to push forward, keep tight on certain players. They're so important in this game as well.
Faye, thank you. Here's Maguire now for England. Raking pass out towards the right-hand side. Oh, the bounce was just deceptive. Rolled away from Henderson. The idea is certainly right, and that was a much more proactive ball from England's back line, and mixing it up more than we've seen, but they just couldn't get the execution right.
See, what's happened there, Jim? Henderson's pulled out to the right-hand side, which has dragged Rabiot to the right-hand side as well, and split the two central midfielders. Now, when they're split like that, that's when Dex really got to work hard to get on the ball, get turned and drive, because they can't do both jobs. They can't split and mark the two advanced midfield players and deal with Declan driving at them.
Mbappe with a nice turn in the midfield. Man is still the leading scorer at this World Cup with 5. And he was fouled there by Henderson. I think Mbappe, out of his peripheral vision, just saw him coming and just broke his stride to make the contact inevitable. Clever rather than deceptive from Kylian Mbappe, and the free kick will be taken by France 15 yards outside the penalty area.
Got to make sure Mbappe's just hovering now, just looking to try and receive, and Griezmann's got the ability to play him in with a quick free kick.
England got a split two-man wall. Griezmann just working it short in the end, then it's turned round the corner, and they will try and get Hernandez in. Hernandez pulling it back, and Mbappe was put under enough pressure as he turned. He fired it over the bar from about 13 yards out, but it was a really well-worked free kick, and England weren't alive to it.
That was exactly the one I was talking about. You could tell Griezmann on the ball, he's looking for something to happen, looking for a little setup, and they're unfortunate that Mbappe's finish wasn't slightly better for the French.
All 5 of his goals in this tournament have come in the last 30 minutes of games. And he's scored 52 goals for club and country in 2022 so far. His next one ties David Trezeguet on 34 for the French, and he's still only 23. Here's Bukayo Saka, who's younger still, bringing it forward for England near the edge of the French penalty area. 1-0 to Le Bleu. Chouameni's goal on 17 minutes the difference. Foden inside right for a moment, linking up with Henderson, not once but twice, and then a third time. Henderson then clipping it down for Bellingham. Excellent movement off the ball there from Jude Bellingham. Bellingham pulling it back for Bukayo Saka. Saka curving it in. Kane waiting at the far post, sends it down, but it's not going to break for an England man, and it's cleared high up in the air by Varane. Then headed away by Rabiot. Plenty of distance on that header, and a good recovery from under pressure Stones, who was fouled in the process anyway by Dembele. His heart was in his mouth for a moment because he knew he had to get that right, but that was better from England. Better passing, good angles, more pace about it, good movement off the ball around the edge of the box.
It was everything you'd want from them. Good play, drawing players on, and then asking questions. Good ball into the box with Kane pulling off at the far post.
Before we go to half-time, England 0, France 1 the score. England who've not got a good record in the quarter-finals of this competition. Not got a good record in World Cup knockout matches against European opposition either. Here's Griezmann, just slightly behind square, an opportunity for Koundé to bring it forward out towards Dembele, playing in his long sleeve shirt as he always does. Back through the midfield to Adrien Rabiot. I think he's probably the only man on the pitch. He's playing in long sleeves, and Foden is as well, but the only two, both up against each other over on that far touchline. Here's Varane. Varane worked for Griezmann on the slide, and the half turn goes well, just to poke it out towards Dembele. Dembele finds his cross inside the penalty area, immediately blocked. It hits Bellingham, who's covered a lot of ground, and it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken quickly over on the French right. Still 1-0 to Le Bleu. Layoff from Chouameni. Upamecano drilling it forward with the top of the boot out towards Hernandez. Hernandez pulling it back for the world champions, the Rabiot to Mbappe trying to get round his man, went to ground, looked to buy a free kick, nothing given. It was just good defending by John Stones, and a few boos and whistles from the England fans who had a good view of that, thought that he was making the most of it. Don't rile him. Here's Walker bringing the ball forward. And he just walks around the challenge of Rabiot and tried to do likewise from Griezmann, who tripped him. And for persistent infringement as much as anything else, he draws a yellow card. First round in the book, Antoine Griezmann for France with 2 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, he's ended up getting booked eventually. Poor defending, but it's the third time that he's done it, and he's done it because Walker's asked a question. He's walked past two players, and all of a sudden they've got a big problem. And it's that effectiveness going forward that we've just got to do more regularly.
So Griezmann in the book, Chouameni on the score sheet, and England in a modicum of bother. Trailing 1-0. They've been better in the second halves of games than the first so far. They will hope that will continue, although there have been positive aspects to the performance. They know that they can improve on what we've seen. Here's Rice. This is better from him. A marauding run that was soon stopped. And France on the counter-attack, always dangerous with the prodigious pace that they have, and they can bring it forward here with Dembele. Good sliding challenge on him from Bellingham. Play continues. England don't win it back. They have got their shape back behind the ball, though, significantly, and Bellingham did really well to ensure that happened. Back he goes from Koundé. Rabiot. Back to the halfway line again. Varane's got it for France. Play by him down the line from Koundé, from Dembele. It was an extravagant little flick that didn't come off and goes out of play for a throw that England will take and take quickly. Back for Rice to Stones and away from the edge of the penalty area for Walker. And Walker again will take an advanced position from right back. Play back to him in a more infield area by Saka. Rice to Bellingham and out of the left flank for Shaw. Great movement again from Saka. Saka peeling away out of the left-hand touchline, gets down towards the corner flag, drills a low ball in that Varane can clear. A high clearance from him that is nodded back towards Griezmann, and France will try and play their way out with Dembele, and he's done well just keeping a calm head under pressure. Chouameni and Griezmann and now Upamecano will be able to get France upfield and do so pretty quickly. Forward it goes, Hernandez into the feet of Mbappe, won back well by Saka. A real robustious challenge coming in on Kane, but it was a fair one from Upamecano. Goes out of play for a throw. That is a battle though that England have been winning. Kane up against Upamecano. 45 minutes are up, we're just waiting for the fourth official, Mohamed from the United Arab Emirates, to tell us how many extra minutes will be added on, and it will be 4. Go into them now with England having the ball with Stones to Henderson and back again. Henderson under lip service of pressure from Rabiot, goes back once more inside his own half. Maguire splits wide. Shaw much more advanced from left back. Maguire picking up, goes from one side of the pitch to the other to bring Saka into play. Saka's got Henderson making a good run on the outside. He needed it much more quickly than Saka was willing to pass him the ball. He would have been offside, but he has played in Walker instead. Walker to Kane, drawing Upamecano forward. Space for Saka on the right. Kane back to him. Kane has it again, and then was on the deck again, waved up by the referee. England still have it. Saka turning away from Rabiot, sliding change from Chouameni, poked the ball back for Upamecano, and now France again will look to try and break quickly, and they work it down the left-hand side of midfield for Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe away from Bellingham, back into the congested midfield area. A little shove there from Saka and Chouameni and a hand of apology. The referee acknowledged it and played the advantage. France still have it with Griezmann. 5 yards inside England territory, Varane is happy to slow things down and just try and take the sting out of it at the moment. England trailing by a goal to 0. On your World Cup station, Talk Sport, eyeing up a potential semi-final with Morocco. It's going to be France-Morocco as things stand. No side have retained the World Cup for 60 years, but if France win this, they will be favourites to do so. The semi-final, Argentina-Croatia, is Tuesday's game. That's live on Talk Sport. And the winners of this one against Morocco Wednesday. Walker letting the ball run past him, goes out of play. It's a goal kick which will be taken by England away to our left-hand side, and France still lead it by a goal to nil.
Yeah, as I say, very little to choose between the two sides. I think probably, if anything, since the goal, England have been the stronger of the two sides, but they've got to continually ask questions of the French, keep getting it forward, and when they get in these advanced areas, you know, Saka, if you're one-on-one, take people on, you know. Bellingham as well, Foden as well, little movements off the ball.
Stones comes forward over the halfway line. He's played it out towards Maguire. Now to Shaw. Back for Harry Maguire again. Ball over the top. Shaw will give chase, and England have won a corner out of that. So time for an equalising goal before half-time, potentially. Koundé tracking back with Luke Shaw. It's come off the top of his head as he defended it. And an opportunity for England to try and get themselves back on level terms. Any set piece always the key for Maguire to come forward, for Stones as well. The pair of them, and Henderson and Kane, are just having a little brains trust around the edge of the penalty area, deciding who's going where from this particular set piece. France have got any number watching them. They've gone 5 man for man, 5 against 5 in that conglomeration around the edge of the box. 2 defending zonally. It's swung in deep, too deep for everybody. Looking to try and get Maguire in at the far post, and then turned back by Bellingham, but poorly, and one back by Hernandez. Bellingham slides in, wins it back. Upamecano slices it clear. France have got a man down. Hernandez is going to need some treatment, and that will just stop things again. And it's not a head injury, and that was what the fury was from the England players, asking why play has to be stopped there in open play, with England nearing possession around the edge of the final third, where Hernandez has gone down holding his foot.
Really, they need to change the laws of the game, because they've turned around and said we're going to stop, you know, serious injuries, head injuries, and every time someone goes to ground now, the game gets stopped. It's there you go, is what it is.
Possession 60-40, it was pretty level when Chouameni scored his goal, so England dominating the ball since going 1-0 down, but not with an awful lot to show for it. Lloris with one relatively comfortable save. The play is going to be restarted with a drop ball that's about 30 yards away from where England had possession. Walker, back for Maguire. It wasn't 30 yards towards goal either. Now the half-time whistle goes. England have work to do. Conceding to a goal from Chouameni just before the midway stage of the first half. France at that stage, the better team. England have had the majority of possession since. They haven't worked Hugo Lloris as much as they would like. They've had moments where they've threatened to expose France's Achilles heel defensively, but haven't been able to do so. And they've got 45 minutes to get themselves back into this game and stay in the World Cup. Half-time in the desert, England 0, France 1. Well, it's inevitable that if any side is going to win the World Cup, that they're going to have to deal with a little bit of adversity along the way. England will feel as though there were some positives in the first 45, whilst there being a whole load of room for improvement. But I think that they will also feel that maybe they've got a little bit of luck in running to come their way in the second period. They weren't blessed with a huge amount of it in the first 45. No changes at this juncture. England lining up Pickford, Walker, Stones, Maguire and Shaw, Henderson, Rice, Bellingham, Saka, Kane and Foden. We're underway. France, Lloris in goal, Koundé, Varane, Upamecano, Hernandez, Chouameni, the goal scorer, and Rabiot, Dembélé, Griezmann, Mbappe and Giroud. England white shirts, dark blue shorts, and France the exact reverse, playing in red stockings, England in white. England kicking from right to left in this second half. A second half they have to win in in order to keep their World Cup hopes alive. 1-0 down at the moment. Jordan Pickford in all yellow outside the penalty area on the night of his 50th cap for his country. Finding Shaw. Back from him to Harry Maguire. And Maguire will play down towards his club teammate Shaw again. Bellingham, Foden, Bellingham taking it on. Bellingham getting goal-sided. Dembele who had a nibble at him, won the ball cleanly. Bellingham stays down. Foden working it inside the penalty area. And England have an early corner in the opening minute or so of the second half, but Bellingham still down hurt.
Good play. Good play. Forward passes, little interaction, give and goes. French really struggle with it. And when the ball come in the box, when you look for a bit of composure from Upamecano, there wasn't any there. Scalped it behind his own goal for a corner. Now we've got to keep piling on and putting the pressure on and fueling the fire.
Ousmane Dembele picks up a yellow card for that challenge on Bellingham. The referee had played the advantage. England with a corner coming round the back to attack. Foden's delivery was Maguire. Right foot is tipped over the bar. Wonderful strike from Bellingham. It would have been close actually to hitting the top of the bar and going over anyway, but Lloris threw a hand up and helped it on its way. Boy, did he strike that sweetly. Beautiful effort. Actually seeing the replay, may well have ended up in. Yeah, it goes out of play for another corner.
That was going to be nestled in the roof of the net without a doubt, and we spoke before the game about the importance of goalkeepers, and certainly Lloris has pulled a couple of very, very good saves off.
One from Kane in the first half, that one as well. In comes the second corner. Coming around the back is Maguire. Oh, the goalkeeper was absolutely nowhere and ends up somehow with a ball in his hand. Lloris with a complete misjudgment. Maguire peeled away towards the back post. He headed it back over the stricken Lloris, and it hit Stones or Rice and bounced back up into the hands of Lloris.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can see why there's a crowd scene around the goalkeeper. A little bit of club knowledge there, I think. Kane, he's tipped off the England coaching staff and said get bodies around him. He was nowhere to be seen on that occasion.
So a good start to the second half for England. Couple of sights of Lloris's goal, couple of corners. And they'll bring it forward again here with Maguire. Foden trying to take it on the half turn, loses out to Griezmann. And now Rabiot. Played to his right-hand side for Koundé. Koundé for Dembele, who's the second Frenchman booked in this game, and still haven't had anybody booked in the tournament. Upamecano gets away with one. He just tried to nudge the ball forward, and Henderson came so close to intercepting it and flicking it past him. Didn't quite come off for him, and then Saka's given a free kick away.
Well, I can tell you now, Aid, before you even ask me, Upamecano will not be man of the match. He's having a shocking time for the French, and we've got to keep asking questions of him.
It could be England's man of the match yet. The ball played forward towards Rabiot. He needs a stiff examination. So he's 11th cap today, the biggest international game of his career. Mbappe ends up on the deck, and the referee has given a free kick his way. Henderson absolutely convinced that it was a dive, and we're seeing the replay, and it was a dive. And the referee has been conned. And Henderson saying in his broad weir side, bro, what was that for, to the referee?
There's been certain elements of refereeing at this World Cup that I've applauded, that they've not readily sent people off, but they've got absolutely no idea when people have gone to the ground and bought a free kick and dived, and I've not seen one player at this World Cup booked for diving as yet.
Well, it'd be very controversial if France were to score from this. Free kick that shouldn't have been a free kick. Griezmann swinging it inside the penalty area. First contact from an England player, forces it out to the left-hand side of the box. Back he goes for Koundé. Koundé to Hernandez, who tried to run round the ball and it hit him, but he was able to recover and get it back for Lloris. Signs of promise for England. Lloris with a long ball for Giroud's offside. It's been a good start to the second half, this. 5 gone, still 1-0 France.
Sorry, Jim, I've got in the mode of coaching the England team now, you know. You just get caught up in the moment. As I say, we've just got to keep the tempo up to our play. Had a couple of good efforts early on in the second half. Put the French on the back foot. We need to play to a high tempo to keep them under pressure.
Well, thought you were channeling your inner John McCririck for a moment with the hand gestures that I was seeing, and the good news is that 3 planes are coming in on the same runway down at the airport. The ball played by Stones out towards the England right-hand side for Henderson. Henderson to Saka. Saka back to Henderson again, back towards Declan Rice. Walker to Stones. Stones will bring it forward and will continue his venture forward. He's playing out towards the England right-hand side again for Henderson. Henderson clipping it left-footed over the top. Saka takes it to the byline, pulls it back, it hits the man in blue. Back out of the edge of the penalty area where a ferocious shot is also repelled. That was Henderson that tried that. France with an effective block, always looking on the counter-attack. Giroud surely is offside. England will be able to win it back anyway, and the flag does come up. Play on. Stones. Henderson out to the England right-hand side for Saka. Signs of promise, but England have got to make something of one of them at least. Saka gets it back again. Goes down. Penalty to England. Well, the Brazilian referee didn't need a second look at that one. Pointed straight to the spot. Bukayo Saka, the man felled. And he's going to be Kane against Lloris to equal Wayne Rooney's international record at the most opportune of moments.
Well, I mentioned in the first half we had the opportunity, the VAR on the first one, it just builds water up in the dam and puts pressure on the referee, and as soon as Saka, which is exactly what I'm looking for, drive into the box and ask questions. England have started this half fantastically well. Come on, Harry, put it in the net for me, please.
He faced Hugo Lloris the last time these two sides met and scored a penalty. Now a lot of water has gone under the bridge since then. 5 years at Tottenham working together. That one, as we look at it, Lloris dived to his left and Kane went 2/3 of the way down the goal to the right. So many times Harry Kane has converted opportunities like this for his country. He has missed 3 of his last 9.
Take it now if I was Harry Kane.
Yeah, Lloris was back with both feet against the net. The referee making sure nobody encroaches. Well, Harry Kane's international career is 80 games old, but this is one of the biggest moments he's ever had. And he just comes forward and he readjusts the ball so calmly on the spot. And Lloris takes the moment to just walk back into the goal again. Some real cat and mouse going on between these two. It's Kane against Lloris to tie it up at 1-1 in the World Cup quarter-final. He scores! Sent Lloris the wrong way again. And he put it 2/3 of the way towards the bottom left-hand corner. He has equalled Wayne Rooney's all-time international goal-scoring record for England. But more importantly than that, England is still in the World Cup and he's given them the platform to make further strides. Captain, cool, calm and collected. Kane more than able. A brilliant penalty. Goal number 53, and just about the most important of the lot. It's England 1, France 1.
Got to say, fantastic penalty by the captain, magnificent. He's played fantastically well, leading the team, leading the line today. Now, if you want a clue what to do from this moment on, take a leaf out of the Dutch's book yesterday. They got on the front foot, they chased the game, and as soon as they got level, they stopped doing the things that hurt the opposition. England have got to keep turning the screw.
13th goal of this World Cup campaign. Here's Rabiot breaking forward at the other end, and Pickford is forced to make a save. And England just opened up like the Red Sea for Rabiot to burst forward. They say that you're at your most dangerous when you've just scored a goal. But England almost epitomising that old epithet. And now Kane will bring it forward again. Down the England left, he's run out of room, it's gone out of play for a throw. While England getting away with one, it was an excellent save from Jordan Pickford. But a really good start to the second half. England rewarded with that Kane penalty. 17th successful penalty in match play for his country. And it is 1-1. And now we know again that the most significant, most dramatic moment of the night still lies ahead of us here on TalkSport. Rice heading it forward, Bellingham guiding it down. Here's Declan Rice again to Phil Foden. Foden coming in off the left flank. He's 5 yards adrift of the edge of the penalty area. He's laid it back for Kane. Strong challenge on him from Rabiot is a really good one. And he's poked it forward towards Mbappe. Mbappe faced up by Walker. Walker shows him outside. Walker trying to stay pace to pace, can't do so. Mbappe pulls it back past Giroud. And the contact missed by Dembele. Recycles it. In it comes inside the penalty area. Delivery coming from Griezmann, and England hammer that away. It feels as though it might not stay 1-1 for long. England work it forward now. Bellingham over the top. Foden sprints after it and can't keep it in. And it goes out for a throw that France will take in their right back position. That was Mbappe at his best, steaming past Walker. But England did enough to stop Dembele making clean contact in the penalty area. It's one apiece on TalkSport.
I'll tell you what, buckle your seatbelt in. There's going to be some game in front of us now, and we need to keep getting on the front foot with them. Chances going to be at both ends, and it's who holds their nerve the most on the pitch now.
And just to reiterate that point that you made in the immediate aftermath of the goal, the Dutch let themselves down yesterday because they found the recipe to beat Argentina. They scored twice past them by an aerial onslaught, bombing forward and throwing ball inside the penalty area, got back to 2-2 and then stopped doing what they were good at. Now England in this second half have got to maintain everything they've done to get themselves back into the game.
Well, everything since the French have scored has been good about England. We've been going forward. I'd like to see us a bit more aggressive, not too slow in our build-up. Can we get it forward? We're a really athletic team, always have been, and make sure you play your strongest card every time.
England will work it forward. And it comes off the top of Saka's head. Back from Rabiot, clipped forward. Giroud off balance, trying to play in Mbappe outside him, and then Walker can drop his shoulder. And it'll go out of play. Let's go back pitch side and talk to TalkSport's England correspondent Faye Carruthers, who had a perfect view of that penalty and the ensuing celebration.
I absolutely did, Jim, and actually it was really interesting watching Harry Kane take those two really big calming breaths when he went to go and reset the ball on the penalty spot. We talked about this leading into the game, the last 16 against Senegal, and this knockout game as well, and it certainly worked.
Just go through the process, and Harry Kane did that, visualised the result, and has his 53rd international goal in a much quicker time than Rooney as well. Kane's 53, coming in 80 games. Rooney's in 115, but he scored goal number 53. One more to break the record. Surely just a matter of when. Now would be a pretty damn good time. We'll watch here as Henderson presses Hugo Lloris, who gets it away left-footed. 59 gone, it's 1-1. Kane equalising Tchouameni's first half goal. Maguire back inside his penalty area, finds Pickford. All to play for. Everything that's happened in the first hour now, largely academic. It's what happens in the next half an hour, potentially the next hour, and maybe a bit more that really matters. Morocco wait the winners of this, and it is 1-1. Saka has it for England, 5 yards inside the French half, and he's worked it back for Rice, who goes back for Maguire again, and Maguire will bring it forward. Bellingham just scoops into space. There's the passing option, receives it, goes back. Stones inside the centre circle, space on the England right for Walker. Stones just doing a little bit of traffic policing. It's a clever ball through the lines. Saka's got his central position, driving towards the edge of the area, got a shot in. Oh, Lloris spilt it inexplicably because there was no power in the shot, but he was able to gather at the second attempt. But that was much better. England picking a pass from the midfield, Saka driving forward with intent.
As you say, Henderson's going to play right out on the flank, and it's drawing Rabiot across to the left-hand side, and there's that gap that Saka come into on that occasion.
Griezmann for Mbappe on the edge of the D. Dembele now takes over, working the angle for a left-footed shot. Well blocked John Stones, and Foden does the rest to put it out of play for a throw, which Koundé looks to take quickly. Drops it short of the feet of Ousmane Dembele. Dembele trying to get away from Bellingham. A twist and a turn, and then a good ball forward as well. And Mbappe saw Rabiot making a third man run. It's ricocheted off an England pair of legs, and the break is on. It's 3 against 4. Bellingham with it. Bellingham playing it forward, trying to release Foden. Bellingham caught off the ball there. He was able to find Phil Foden, who can pick it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Foden back for Bellingham. Options to his right-hand side. Henderson out towards Saka. Everybody in the TalkSport team here kicking every ball. The sight I can see that you can't. Unbelievable. Every single pass being choreographed by my esteemed colleagues here. Here's Kane. Kane onto his left foot. Is this his moment? No, not quite. On target, Lloris with a comfortable save. 1-1.
I've played left back all my life, and I know a coward playing at left back. Sorry, I've overused the word coward. That's not the right word. Hernandez is scared stiff of Saka. His first movement when Saka gets the ball is reverse. And that tells me, if I'm Saka, I'm coming straight after you. And he could be key to us tonight. He already has been with the penalty. He needs to keep doing what he's done.
England on top, but there are still omnipresent threats going forward at the other end of the field. That goes without saying. Koundé back towards Dembele. Shaw to Foden. Foden to Bellingham. Bellingham. Foden again, turning his side away from Griezmann, finds himself a little bit of space, then he's closed down quickly, and he's got past 2 and 3, and Griezmann has given him a shove. Kane goes across and points out Griezmann's already on a yellow card. How many is he going to be allowed to get away with?
And that's just 4 now. Good play by Foden, I've got to say. Shaw into Foden. Ball just stuck to his feet there in a really tight area. Didn't need to give that away, and he was fantastic with what he done.
It may well be that the initial contact came from Koundé, and that was what saved Griezmann. He was on his way down maybe by the time those two collided, but Griezmann did nothing to stop the inevitable contact.
Truth be known, I don't think it was a bookable offence from Griezmann's point of view, but we'll take anything we possibly can, Jim, tonight.
Maguire will stand over this free kick for England. It's a couple of yards in French territory. Instead of standing it up towards a central area, he's trying to get Foden isolated against Koundé, and England win the seconds with Kane. Couldn't ship it over. Koundé for the run of Shaw. Griezmann with an opportunity to bring it away. Rice has to stop him, and he did really well because he just went shoulder to shoulder with him, flicked out a right boot, steered it out of Griezmann's path, and now for a throw which is taken quickly on the French right-hand side, and England again wiring into challenges. Henderson's rolled back the years with another magnificent performance today from the 32-year-old. He's fouled his man there, but he stopped an attack in his infancy. So England have got their shape back when the free kick is taken. And Hernandez finds Rabiot. Rabiot back for Upamecano. Tchouameni, scorer of the goal. Dembele down towards Koundé. Koundé coming in off the right flank, goes back for Ousmane Dembele again, and then England very cleverly watched the run of Koundé. Shaw had a 5-yard head start on him, didn't need it. In the end, it was an overhit pass, goes out of play. Goal kick to be taken by Jordan Pickford. We played 64 on TalkSport, your World Cup station. Stuart's reaction to whatever happens tonight will come your way in the aftermath of the programme, but also on the TalkSport breakfast on Monday morning with Laura Woods and Ali McCoist and Stuart. TalkSport breakfast 6 till 10 Monday morning. What will we be reacting to though? Well, we'll find out together over the next 25 minutes plus. Here's Kane dropping deep, finding Saka, who's been fouled again, as the referee says no that time. That's a mystifying decision, particularly when he then gives a free kick for a more minor infringement moments later. I understand why players get frustrated, the lack of consistency of the decisions that are being made. Tchouameni, who's the player that was fouled, has it, right-footed, clipped forward, too long for Giroud, out of play for a goal kick, and England again straight to speak to the referee, just not happy with some of the decisions that are being made. Giroud might have hurt himself in trying to stretch to get that long ball that was played forward. He's feeling his knee and his hamstring as well. Saka is down after the impact on him that the referee, remember, said wasn't a foul.
Well, I've got to say, I thought Aid was a bit harsh on the referee at half-time. In fact, watched his second half performance, I think he was a bit tame. Really don't know what he's thinking about, to be quite honest with you. Awful decision by the referee just then.
That was the most blatant trip by Rabiot. And the replayers actually made it look even worse than I originally thought it was. I think there was 7 attempts on target to France's 3. 1-1 is the scoreline. Morocco in the semi-finals is a sumptuous prize for the winners of this. Neither of these two sides will still be involved in the competition. This time next week, you would imagine at least one of them will be. They'll be the favourites to be, the favourites to win the semi-final, but cannot underestimate Morocco. It's the kind of World Cup semi-final draw either of these would want, but you wouldn't take it lightly. Nevertheless, playing against a side ranked outside the top 10 for a place in the World Cup final is more than you could possibly have hoped for. So it's a big prize. These really are enormous stakes. It's 1-1. Pickford playing it forward and it bounces on the edge of Lloris's penalty area, and he will catch it and stop it going outside the box on the right hand side. Just whipped his hands back in to make sure it wasn't a handball. Just a little bit of a calm here after the storm and before what will inevitably be a thrilling high tempo climax. Shaw drag it back in field and miskicked it. Griezmann picks it up, giving it away. Saka though couldn't field it and still finds its intended target, Hernandez, anyway. Back from him to Mbappe passing it away from Saka out to the French left hand side for Hernandez. Mbappe gets a return ball, clipping it right footed. Dembele plays it back inside the penalty area after the ball drifted over Shaw, and then Foden does really well to deal with an awkward pass to him, and England have got it away, had to play for a throw, but were in danger for a moment of getting caught in possession inside their own penalty area. Foden made sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, we're going to be in a game now that will hinge on the power of the substitutes and the impact that they have and moral courage. Because when these players get tired, it's which one want to go the extra mile against their opponent.
Well, and without wishing to tempt fate, you have spoken so many times about squad depth being important. Having seen France's reserves take on Tunisia, I think many people would feel that England's 12 to 25 is stronger than France's, but you never know. I mean, that may get proved, that theory, one way or the other over the next hour. Potentially only 22 minutes to go. We're 3/4 of the way through normal time as Kane drops back, and Saka, who's still making life almost imponderably difficult for Hernandez, has rolled him and won a foul. This one is 15 yards outside the penalty area, but another chance to get the centre-half's ball, and if the delivery's right, this is a really promising position.
Certainly is. Anything going in the box at the moment. The French back line is showing an element of nervousness about their play, and I think we've just got to keep supplying Saka with the ball. England have gone long with their goal kicks on 2 or 3 occasions now, and Kane's getting first contact or holding the ball up.
So apart from Walker and Pickford, of course, everybody's forward here for England. 2 standing over the free kick. Shaw stands 6 outside the penalty area. 3 at the far post include Foden. Maguire's in a more central area, so too Kane. It's Maguire! Oh, it's wide. Oh, it was close.
The goalie saved that.
Well, a goal kick has been given despite the fact that your eyes from up here have got the decision right. Looking at the England reaction, they know it was a corner. Great run from Maguire, he's just onside. It is a good save from Lloris. The goalkeeper, you don't mind if you're not given the credit for that one. Oh, it's hit the post, actually.
Yeah, referee's got it right. My apologies.
Well, England saw a deflection and they all assumed it had come off Lloris. It has hit the post. So England inches away. Ball headed for by Giroud. Back from Walker. Away by Stones. Saka doing well. Kane holding it up, trying to draw up for Meccano. Now trying to get Saka in. Hernandez won the latest instalment of that battle. Got it back for his goalkeeper. Lloris with a low flat clearance that bypassed one England player, but not the next. And Rice will be able to just take it out towards Walker. Now Kane making a good run through the middle. Ball delivered deeper. They're getting Foden up against Koundé again. Down for Shaw. Poor first touch from him. And then Foden getting back to his feet, sensed he was offside. Made no attempt to go for it. Footballing intelligence now from Foden. As France launch it long, Rice wins the seconds. Well, there were periods in the first half before the goal where France were much the better side. At the moment, England are much the better side, but they've got to make it count. 1-1, the scoreline, with Kane equalising from the penalty spot after Tchouameni's first half opener for the French. Shaw bringing it forward. Shaw fizzing it across the 6-yard box, and Saka arriving late. Couldn't wrap enough of his foot around it. But the chances are coming. England are getting out wide. They're getting into good position. The ball inside the penalty area is excellent. Just keep the faith, because it feels as though it might be coming.
We talk about England, about the togetherness, about the history that this clutch of players have had together. This is where you draw on it. This is where it's really important that togetherness, let alone round the training camp, that we all see. The experience they had 15 months ago, getting beaten in a final. This is where you have to see it now.
It's tonight a sliding doors moment. Griezmann offside. Free kick to England on the edge of their own penalty area. This is a sliding doors night for England, without any guarantees whatsoever that a win here would mean that they would win the next game. One step at a time. But if England can win this, they have a better chance than they have had since they won the World Cup. That's not saying they've got an outstanding chance. They have a better chance than they have had since 1966 if they can win this game. But ball is out of play. It's a free kick which will be taken by the French over on the far touchline. Didier Deschamps, he won the World Cup as a player, he won it as a coach as well, followed Mario Zagallo and Franz Beckenbauer in doing the double as player and manager. He's seen it all. He's got the experience. Knows that his side are second best at the moment, but that they have epic match winners in their ranks. Bellingham down towards the corner flag. Shaw with another delicious ball curving away, and Hernandez heads it outside the penalty area, but Henderson's there first for England. 1-1 on TalkSport with 17 minutes of normal time to go. Henderson taking the throw in towards the feet of Bellingham, right inside of the area. He's been caught from behind, referee unmoved. Bellingham gets back to his feet, looks at the referee, nothing is given. He looks to the heavens and bellows at the top of his voice. Meccano catching him from behind, made no contact with the ball.
Once again, England's best player, Meccano, doing his level best to try and get us a winner at the moment.
Keep feeding him. Here's Griezmann. Away from Dembele and out of play for a throw which will be taken on the England left. A little bit of action on the England touchline coming off the England bench. No substitutions have been made as yet. Still plenty of time to make them, but Faye Carruthers, our England correspondent, what are you seeing right in front of you?
I'm seeing a number of players warming up and sorry, I'm just looking down at the French substitutes on the other side. I think that is Mason Mount trying to take his shirt off, sort himself out with his back to me at the moment. So it looks like Mason Mount coming on.
Thank you, Faye. Here's Dembele for France. Right inside of the penalty area, swung inside the box. Acrobatic and effective clearance from Walker. There's sort of wrong-footed scissor kick volley away on the turn. Back he comes from Hernandez, climbing high. Giroud heads it wide. Couldn't get a good run of the ball thanks to a combination of Shaw and Maguire. Now And it's a goal kick which Jordan Pickford will take away to the right-hand side. 15 minutes to go.
I think if it is going to be Mount coming on, I can only think that it'll be Henderson. And if it is, that'll be a massive loss for the midfield, I think. And his energy, his drive, in a good way. He's got no respect for the French. He goes after them, he does things quick, and he's everything we need on the pitch at the moment. But
well, it could be Henderson. I guess it could potentially be Foden, as Maguire goes down towards Shaw. Shaw through the legs to Bellingham inside the penalty area. A clever little hop and a skip from Jude Bellingham. Back for Luke Shaw again. Wraps his left foot underneath it. Cleared by Hernandez. A good defensive header bypasses Saka to find Mbappe. Mbappe getting it forward as England defenders try and heed Stewart's call of tight. Mbappe again heavily involved, and now he comes down for Hernandez in the midfield, turning away from Kane, and Tchouameni has it.
Yeah, just Walker then, the ball come into Mbappe's feet. You've got to get touch tight on him, not 2 yards off, but I think Cole's dealt with him pretty well so far this evening, but it only takes one magic moment.
Rabiot for Mbappe, right-footed ball chipped inside the area, Dembele heading it back, and left-footed volley, brilliantly saved by Pickford. Giroud with the effort. He was 9 yards out. Pickford threw himself to his right and got a strong-handed tip around the post and out of play for a corner.
Yeah, listen, whichever team get through this arm wrestle today, they would have earned it. There's no doubt about that. And there's plenty of football to be played as yet. And it's a fantastic save. Comfortable height for him, but important save all the same.
Good reactions. He would have been disappointed had he got past him, but excellent reactions. This is Francis. First corner of the second half. Headed away the near post by Kane. Comes back out for Koundé. Koundé hooking it first time out to Hernandez. One full back to the other, and now back out for Griezmann on the left-hand touchline. Giroud attacks that and scores. Flying header from Olivier Giroud. And France lead again with 13 minutes this time for England to salvage it. Wonderful ball whipped in for the left-hand side from Griezmann, and Olivier Giroud's built a career about attacking crosses like that, and he's powered it past Jordan Pickford. And for all that England have been much the superior team in this second half, they are now within 15 minutes of exiting the World Cup.
Got to say, cleared the first one, Harry Kane, fantastic header. Then when it went back out wide to Griezmann, he opened his body out and it was a brilliant ball in, and it was Giroud just got in front of Harry Maguire there, and once he gets a run on you with the accuracy of the pass, it just skimmed off Harry Maguire's shoulder, I think. England have got it all to do, and it is Henderson coming off for Mount. I think we've got Sterling coming on as well, Jim.
So a double change for England. Saka is off, Henderson is off, on comes Mount, on comes Raheem Sterling, who's been through the mill. Not involved in England's last game, of course, for well-publicised reasons. He's missed a fair bit of training as a result of that, but he's back on now when his country really needs him. France are going to make a change as well, and Kingsley Coman is coming on to replace Dembele for France. So Saka and Henderson off, Sterling and Mount on for England. Olivier Giroud, the man that has restored the French lead, got a couple against Australia. He broke Thierry Henry's record against Poland. It's 4-4 for him in this competition this time around. France's all-time leading international goal scorer heads his side within 15 minutes of another World Cup semi-final. And England have to realise that there is still time. They have to heed the lessons of previous matches. So many late goals in this tournament. They have to keep believing. They have to think back to improbable fightbacks they themselves have been able to muster in the past. Think back to what they got out of that game against Germany in the Nations League at Wembley back in September. Came back from 2 down in that with not much time remaining. And there's another shove inside the penalty area as the long ball is launched forward, and again the referee shows absolutely no interest whatsoever. It was Mount that went down attacking it, and the referee said no foul, just waved the protests away.
This referee is either very good or getting these decisions all right, or he's having a awful game, a really, really awful game. That's a penalty.
Well, it was just a blatant shove in the back by Hernandez.
It's a
and the
penalty.
VAR's having a look at it. Now remember, the VAR had a look at one in the first half and said there was no foul, and the penalty appeals were waved away for a potential foul by Upamecano on Kane. This time it's Hernandez on Mason Mount, and to our mind, having seen the replay, he's given it a clear shove in the back inside the penalty area. That has to be a clear and obvious error, you would think.
This is my frustration with VAR. Thank you, referee.
Well, he hasn't given it yet. He's coming over to have a look at it. Sorry, Stu.
Jim, if you can't see that first time round as a referee, there's something wrong, and you're at the World Cup at the highest level of football. Wowee.
I mean, it's blatant. It is blatant. He's just leant into him with his left shoulder and shoved into the ground.
He certainly has, and hopefully he does the right thing and gives a penalty, and gives us an opportunity potentially to draw level.
Well, Hernandez has also made absolutely no attempt to play the ball there as it's worked forward. It's a penalty to England again. Now, will there be any further sanction against the player? The bottom line is that England have the opportunity to get back on level terms at 2-2. But the referee just ran straight to the penalty spot. Jude Bellingham has gone over to the referee and has said, why is that not a red card? Now, it is the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Hernandez, I think, is going to get a yellow card. I don't think he was even going to get that. And the referee had just almost been talked into it by the England players, like he forgot that he could produce a card. He's made no attempt to play the ball there. So it's not the double jeopardy rule because he's made no attempt to play the ball.
He's been really, really poor tonight, Hernandez. He's done brilliant getting in there. I would have been very tempted, we're talking about the substitutions, Jim, I'd have been tempted to put Rashford on against him. I think that would have potentially caused him a problem. Raheem's got to keep running at him now.
What has to happen first is that Harry Kane has to keep his nerve again and put another penalty away. We feel that England should have had 3. They weren't given the first one, were given the second one, which was scored, given the third one an easy decision after a VAR review. So Kane went to Lloris's right for his first penalty. Which way will he go here? This an even bigger penalty. This a moment for personal kudos and national gain. It's Harry Kane against Lloris, bobbing up and down on his line. Harry, your country is well and truly behind you. He hits it, right footed. Oh, he's blasted it over the bar. He's missed it. He's whacked it over the bar. And England miss a glorious opportunity to get back on level terms. And it remains 2-1 to France with only 6 minutes to go. And that's his 4th miss for his country. And it is, I'm afraid, a monumental one.
I think it's important now that England do not take a backward step. They've got to keep driving forward. They'll have another opportunity as the game goes on. They'll go into extra time, potentially overtime. It's Rashford coming on now, and they'll offer more punch up front. And it's important we keep driving forward. All hope is not lost. Make no mistake about that.
Rashford for Foden is the England change. And they just have to simply keep believing. 6 minutes plus stoppage time. There's a raft of substitutions, couple of injuries, the VAR check. So my guess is there'll be at least 6 added minutes as well. So probably not quite in the last 10 minutes with the playing time yet. But England have to score. And now France are moaning because a throw was taken by Foden and picked up by Bellingham. But the referee hadn't blown his whistle to restart play. And the fourth official tells the French substitutes to get back down. Shaw playing it forward. Koundé. Sliding challenge comes in. Looks as though Bellingham won it cleanly. Referee decides that he hadn't. What is absolutely blindingly obvious is that the referee has completely lost the trust and faith of every single player on the field and off it, because every decision now is getting contested and argued about, and it feels as though the ref isn't sure what is going on at times.
He got that one right, credit to him.
Absolutely.
Looked at the rerun, you are correct though.
But there's still every decision, there's a massive hangover and post-mortem into everything he does. Ball's played forward, nodded down inside the penalty area. Maguire clears it. Walker on the right hand side of his box takes the touch, he's fouled. It's a free kick to England, well inside their own half. 4 to go. What needs to happen apart from the obvious? How do England go about it?
I think we've just got to keep supplying the ball to our wide players. I think both Rashford this side and Sterling that side have got the beating of their respective players and keep playing at high revs. Listen, we're going home if we don't get a goal, so we just as well go chasing it, and I don't think we can afford to let Walker go surging up the pitch. He's still got to do a job on Mbappe.
Stones finding Walker. Walker playing it down the right hand side. It's another foul, that one by Rabiot, and a free kick to England. Mason Mount was the player that was caught. 3 minutes to go. It's 1-2. France leading, and Kane's missed the penalty in the meantime. Mason Mount preparing to take a free kick for England. He'll be weighing heavily on Harry Kane's mind, but he has to put it behind him. Rashford standing by the edge of the D. Kane is in there as well, so too Bellingham. Swung in very deep, headed back by Maguire towards the penalty spot. Half cleared, high up in the air. Maguire just eased under the flight of the ball, no foul, and then Bellingham claims that he's been able to flick it off the nearest Frenchman. I'm pretty sure that he knew he hadn't. And it's a throw which will be taken on the French right-hand side by Koundé. And there are 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And now there's a nervousness, a real fragility about England. Temperamentally have got to make sure that they just keep their minds on the job here and have the belief and know that they can still create opportunities. They might now from distance. A right-footed shot blazed over the bar. That was panic-stricken from Mount. He's 25 yards out and he's just fired it into the England crowd. By the time the goal kick is taken, will be nearly in the 90th minute, and it's 2-1 to France.
Yeah, he had more time on his hands than he gave himself credit for. I think he could have advanced a touch more, steadied himself a little bit better. It's important there's no panic. I know we're late on in the game, but we've got to keep doing what we're doing. Bellingham's been magnificent, driving the team, the energy.
Goal kick taken by Hugo Lloris. England 1, France 2 on TalkSport. There's the thoughts of Stuart Pearce, the former England World Cup defender. Now Maguire has committed a foul. And this will be the first card shown to an England player in this tournament. He just leant into his man. It was a poor challenge. Tempers are getting very frayed. Mbappe is claiming that it was an elbow by Maguire. It's just a yellow card for Maguire.
Yeah, as you say, Maguire's arm was up. It's a booking, no doubt about that. He's not elbowed him. He's called him with his hand or forearm, but certainly no more than a booking.
So Maguire cautioned. Free kick to France, who lead 2-1. Another goal for them now. It is all over. Varane sweeps it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. It's headed on inside the box. Mbappe tried to turn, just couldn't wriggle his way past Stones, who did really well. Just stood firm and got a leg in the way. Walker playing it forward. Saka chesting it down.
Sterling.
He's just able to keep it in on the right hand touchline. Raheem Sterling, thank you, Stuart. And then Mount comes back and has fouled his man. And it's another free kick which will be taken over on that far side by France, and successfully running the clock down. We've gone into stoppage time, 8 additional minutes, but those 8 will tick down very quickly from an English perspective. And England have to score within them to stay in the World Cup and book extra time.
Yeah, it's important we keep our composure now, giving silly free kicks away. We'll just play into the hands, eat the clock down.
Griezmann standing over this free kick. 3 Frenchmen on the edge of the penalty area. Chouameni is in there as well. It's fired in, it's headed away. Back in from Rabiot. Maguire steps up and takes the responsibility and heads that one clear. And now Kane chasing after Hernandez, who can get it forward and flicked on by Griezmann. It's a clever little touch. Mbappe's going to be there first. He's got Walker with him. Griezmann down by the corner flag, twisting and trying to get to the byline. Walker hasn't been bamboozled yet, and Sterling's done well to aid his cause. And now Rice will take it out towards the right-hand touchline and should be able to play his way out. He can find Walker, and Walker will fire it forward. Kane flicking it on. Rashford back to him. Kane playing it down towards the England left-hand side. And England will be able to bring it forward here with Luke Shaw. Shaw standing it up, but too deep, although Lloris got a hand to it and helps it on his way out for a corner. He didn't need to get anything on that, but England do get a corner out of it.
Yeah, got a hand on it, Lloris, and put it behind, and as luck happens, the linesman gives the referee a clue there and told him exactly what happened.
6.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Luke Shaw goes across to take this corner. It's England's 4th of the game. Now it's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery. 6 in the penalty area again for England. No thought of Pickford coming up or anything like that. In it comes towards the penalty spot. Good header away. Really commandingly met by the French. Now Walker will play it forward again. Walker to Bellingham. Bellingham, 15 outside the penalty area. Back it goes to the England right-hand side. England trailing by 2 goals to 1. Got to find a goal. In it comes towards Maguire. Lloris acrobatically, but expertly comes out, claims it, and catches it. There's a little collision off the ball there between Maguire and Koundé. Both players just with eyes for the ball. No malice from either party, but good goalkeeping by Lloris. And all of a sudden, there are only 5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, as I say, whipped in there, but a little bit too close to Lloris, and he come and claimed it very well.
France get it forward. Rice wins it back. Taking a touch down the left-hand touchline away from Bellingham, whose throw is that. It is a French ball. I'm sure that's correct. But in no hurry to take it, and why would you be in this situation? A 2-1 lead with 5 minutes of stoppage time to go. France-Morocco very much on the cards now. England needs something that's almost bordering on the miraculous, but we have seen the miraculous at this World Cup. Just think about Weghorst yesterday, when the Dutch scored 10.5 minutes into stoppage time for an equaliser and extra time to make it 2-2. That's what England need to draw upon. Channel your inner Weghorst. The ball on the edge of the French penalty area. Bellingham, who's been brilliant again, trying to win it back. Can't do so. France whack it upfield, where Mbappe is such a constant threat as an outlet with his pace, but he's the only one. And England get it back and bring it forward again. Rice for Stones, now down towards Rashford. Rashford coming in off the left-hand touchline. Back for Jude Bellingham. Bellingham clipping it. Out towards the right-hand touchline for Raheem Sterling. Sterling controlling it. Needs to try and get a run at Rabiot. Right-footed ball. Stands it up. It's a lot of air underneath it. Shaw trying to head it back. It's headed half clear by Koundé. Shaw back for Maguire. And back for Shaw again. Left-footed ball in. Too close to Lloris. Another acrobatic claim. And England now have just 3.5 minutes to find this equalising goal.
Yeah, just tempting the goalkeeper out too much, and once again, Lloris, good claim by him.
Lloris bouncing it once, clears from the edge of his own penalty area. Long ball forward. another player down hurt, and the referee will stop it as Stones is down holding his foot. Just an impact injury, I'm sure. This time will all be added on, certainly should be. Still tempers continue to fray. Maguire in the ear of the referee. Stones injured by Giroud. Giroud stands ahead. Jordan Pickford, I think, claiming that there was a little bit of naughtiness in the challenge. The bottom line is that when Stones is back on his feet and has received treatment, England have got 3 minutes. They need some inspiration. They need it really, really quickly now.
Yeah, and the amount of time that Stones has been down, I think we've got a problem on our hands, to be quite honest with you. But I think Jack Grealish now looking to come on, and it might be a throw of the dice. An offensive player for Stones if he doesn't make it.
Stones has received his treatment. Grealish primed and ready. Just adjusts the bootlace on his left boot. Now takes a swig of drink. He'll be on in a moment. Can't walk against the fluid on board as well. The referee just reminding John Stones and the England medical staff that he has to leave the field by the nearest touchline, which is over on the far side. He's going to be able to leave the field under his own steam, and we'll just try and break into a trot. He's going to be okay, I think, to continue. It's just a question of whether he's the man coming off here for Grealish's introduction. So we've played 7 additional minutes, but there should still be 3 to go. Fourth official has been given the numbers board. Let's find out who it's going to be. Grealish 4, Stones, okay. So Stones will play no further part, and Jack Grealish comes on.
Yeah, they'll just go to a 3 now, I think. Walker, Maguire and Shaw across the back line.
So 3 minutes for England to find this equalising goal. Lloris clearing the ball upfield after play restart with the drop ball. Goes back out to the French left-hand side for Mbappe. He's got Sterling with him. Felt the contact, went the ground. No foul.
See, somewhere down the line, referees have got to get on top of this for the sake of football and stop players diving on the floor too readily. He's too good a player for that.
Stones getting into, I beg your pardon, Stones walking behind the ball as Pickford gets it away. Stones just being led around this near side. It's up through the midfield. Grealish going up for it, flicked on intelligently out by Mount towards the right hand side. Raheem Sterling's got it. He's got Rice in support. England right up against it. 2 minutes to go. Behind the 8 ball here, trailing by 2 goals to 1 on TalkSport. Harry Kane has missed the penalty that would have made it 2-2. Rice trying to get away from Griezmann. Right-footed ball, hoisted high inside the area. Rashford in there to try and attack it. Defensive header, ball down by Maguire. Maguire brought down, edge of the D. Free kick to England, and it's now or never. Is this going to be a repeat of the Dutch last night, who had a free kick in last chance saloon in an almost identical situation this late in the game? They scored, and England have to as well.
Well, to be quite honest with you, I think there's only one man that's going to strike this. It's going to be Rashford, to be quite honest with you. It's going to be just the bench in front of us from a rival company there. Just couldn't contain themselves and on their feet. Now, Rashford's already delivered 1 in this tournament. What I would be saying to him, just hit the target. If you can do it with pace, we've got a chance.
We are in the 100th minute of the World Cup quarter-final. This simply has to go in. Rashford has spotted the ball down. He's got Mount with him. It's all on this. Hernandez lies down in the draft excluded position behind a 5-man wall. England have lined up a false wall of their own, but I don't think there are any thoughts here of trying anything clever. This is just about technique and precision. It's Marcus Rashford to keep England in the World Cup. He addresses it right-footed, he's hit it, it's over the bar, onto the roof of the net, and there was some in the ground that thought it was in. It saw the net billow, but it wasn't. It cleared the bar, it's kissed the roof of the net, and by the time Lloris takes the goal kick, there are only going to be seconds left, and that, I'm almost certain, is that.
I'll tell you what, if that's on target, it's a goal. Lloris has hopped to his right, he's left that corner totally exposed.
The full-time whistle blows, and it blows to signal the end of another England World Cup campaign. Beaten quarter-finalists. It has a familiar ring to it. This is not the hollow defeat that England have sometimes suffered in the past. This was a game against the world champions in which England went toe-to-toe, and for large periods with the better side. It was a game that was settled by a moment from the penalty spot. Harry Kane blazing over the bar as England look for their second equaliser of the night. It will go down as a heroic failure, but it will go down as a failure nevertheless. It's another opportunity that England haven't been able to take. It's a night that's produced a real sliding doors moment in the desert, and the doors have slammed shut at just the wrong moment. Because make no bones about it, this was a chance, this was a real chance for England to get there for the first time since 1966, a tournament that had seen some improved performances. They got better as the tournament had gone on in many ways. The Nations League debacle very quickly flushed out of the system, and England were progressive, and they had hope and they had belief, but they didn't have that little bit of luck in running. Olivier Giroud with a flying header 12 minutes from time, ultimately the man that provided the blow that has knocked England out of the World Cup. And some are on their haunches, some in white, embraced by teammates, an inevitability that there are tears in the eyes, that this time the missed penalty that has cost England has come from the foot of their captain, who turns and looks to the heavens, and Jordan Pickford will go across and console him. England can leave with heads held high, but they will know that this was an opportunity passed up like few that have been passed up beforehand. Morocco in a semi-final, such an endearing prospect, but again, unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be. Congratulations for France, because their dream of back-to-back World Cups and being the first time to retain the trophy for 60 years lives long and is very, very bright indeed. 2 games from then and footballing immortality. But for England, as Gareth Southgate goes across and has a word with his captain, who's never let his country down, this is extremely tough to take for those heroes in white and blue. Will it be the end of the line for Gareth Southgate? Well, we may find out. He will have seen enough, I think, to feel that he has plenty of raw material with which to work in Germany and then in the World Cup in 2026. But it felt as though 2022 had a real possibility of being the year, and like so many before it, it isn't the year. I'm afraid it's not coming home. It's finished in the World Cup quarter-final. England 1, France 2.